People were saying that Jake Paul could have knocked out Mike Tyson. He will only get $2 million. He's also one of 3 fighters in the UFC history. Shockingly, Caleb Williams had a better QBR than Jordan Love. Welcome back to Heartbeat Arena episode 52, where we keep it 100% all facts, no cap. It's your host, Trillionaire Chuck. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight that happened over the weekend. Was it staged? Or is Mike Tyson just too old for boxing? Jon Jones kept his title when he faced Stipe Miocic. I hope I'm saying his name right. Miocic, if I'm not, I apologize. Hey, I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke. But is Jon Jones the GOAT in the UFC, right? The Chicago Bears lost to the Green Bay Packers in a nail biter. Is it the referee's fault or is it bad coaching by Matt Eberflus, right? Last, we have the best segment at the end of the show. Relationship talk, right? Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Why? Because we keep it raw and every episode is packed with the kind of truth that'll make you rethink everything. So let's get into it. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, right? Netflix glitched throughout the whole entire fight, so everybody had trouble watching it live. Now, after watching it, you can see how Mike Tyson had plenty of opportunities to rock Jake Paul during the fight. See, people were saying that Jake Paul could have knocked out Mike Tyson, but he chose not to. Let's watch a short video of how boxing science broke this fight down compared to when Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. Roll the clip for me, please.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight was rigged. Look at how Mike was fighting against Roy Jones at 54 years old, and take a look at this counter. Roy goes in with a jab, and Mike slips to the outside and immediately counters him with a left hook. Now compare this with the Jake fight. Mike would go to all the trouble of closing the distance on Jake but wouldn't counter. Jake throws a big right hook and Mike slips under it. Jake is completely open and out of position while Jake is in range, but Mike doesn't counter. Instead, he just throws his hands and waits till Jake covers up and backs out of range. Again here, Jake feints a jab, then goes for a left hook that he abandons since Mike slips, but Jake's guard is open and Mike loaded up his left hand, but he doesn't throw it instead. He just stands up.
Okay, so here's the question. Was the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight staged? After watching that video, you see the opportunities that Mike Tyson could have dropped Jake Paul. Mike came at Jake Paul very aggressively in the first 2 rounds of the fight. Now, here's what people said Jake Paul could have put down Mike Tyson. They were saying it was because it mostly came down to the 4th or 5th rounds of the fight. You see Mike Tyson start to get tired at age 58 years old. I mean, you were just happy to not see him get knocked out. Now, when he fought Roy Jones Jr. on November 28th, 2020, Mike was 54 years old. And the stipulation was no knockouts. And that fight was ruled a draw, right? The Jake Paul fight against Mike Tyson, according to nytimes.com, they said in the article that knockouts were allowed, right? However, rumor was if Mike Tyson knocked out Jake Paul, he will only get $2 million. So it was in Tyson's best interest to not knock out Jake Paul. Listen, we do not respect Jake Paul because he can beat no boxer his age without it being a stipulation in the match. See, Jake Paul is all about getting a check. And the real boxers, they do it because they love the sport and they're trying to be a legend in the game, right? So after watching this fight, you see at times Mike Tyson could have knocked out Jake Paul. And that's what we was looking for. But he chose not to. This is one of many reasons why people say the fight was staged, okay? Now, let's move along. So, Jon Jones defends his title against Stipe Miocic, right? UFC 309, November 16th, Jon Jones defends his title against Stipe Miocic. Now remember, Jones was suspended in 2016, according to theguardian.com, which is an article online, for a failed drug test. This suspension lasted a year. Then in 2023 of March, he captured the title against G.O.A.T, right? Hopefully I'm saying the name right, Shrigani, due to a submission hold. Now, Jon Jones he ain't fought in 3 years, and it was his first fight at heavyweight. Okay, so here's the question. With this win, does this make Jon Jones the GOAT in UFC? My answer, yes. Why? Because with the record of 28-1, according to ESPN.com, Jon Jones has 7 submissions and 11 knockouts. Jones holds the record for the most wins, the most title defenses, and the longest win streak in the light heavyweight division. He's also one of 3 fighters in the UFC history to earn 2 fourth-round finishers. Jones has a 95% takedown defense rate, which is the second best in UFC history, right? Jones landed the most total and significant strikes in UFC light heavyweight history. Jones has the most total fight time in UFC light heavyweight history. Are you following me here, people? This is history he's making, right? Jones was the UFC light heavyweight champion from 2011 to 2015, and then from 2018 to 2020. Now here's some breaking news. After this fight, Stipe Miocic is retiring. Now I get it. He's 40 years old and he was on his way out the door. But after facing Jon Jones, he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm done. No, I'm done. Now, how could I put this? I'm trying to put this in the best perspective possible, right? Miocic holds the record for the most consecutive heavyweight title defenses in the UFC with 3, okay? He defended his title from September 2016 to January 2018, defeating Alistair Overeem, Junior Dos Santos, and Francis Ngannou. So Jon Jones retired this man after their fight. Jon Jones is the GOAT in the UFC. I stated before, I said, Jon Jones reminds me of Ali, right? When Ali was boxing, he got suspended. He was gone for some time. He got in shape, came back, and won his belt back. Jon Jones, same scenario, got suspended, came back, won the title, defended his title, right? Anytime someone can leave a sport, come back, and still be dominant, that's what makes them the GOAT to me. Michael Jordan won 3 titles, retired, went to go play baseball for 2 years, came back, got swept to the playoffs by Orlando Magic, got in basketball shape, won 3 more straight. The GOAT. What other athlete walked away from the game, came back, and still was holding their dominance? That's why I say Jon Jones is the GOAT in the UFC. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. So, the Chicago Bears lost to the Green Bay Packers in a nail-biter. Is it the ref's fault or is it just bad coaching by Matt Eberflus? So, the score was Green Bay Packers 20, the Chicago Bears 19. This game was a hard-fought game. Me personally, I felt like the Bears got cheated out this game. But let's just go over the stats real quick. Okay, so for the Bears, we had Cole Kmet with 3 receptions, total targets 3, total yards receiving 42, average yards per receiving 14. He had 2 first downs, right? We had Caleb Williams. He was 23 for 31 with a completion percentage of 74.2. Total passing yards 231. Yards per attempt 7.5. He had a QBR rating of 83.3. Now, we have Roshan Johnson. He had 10 carries. Total yards rushing 33. He had 1 touchdown. Average yards per rush, 3.3. 1 reception. He had total reception yards of 8. Average yards per reception, 8, right? Now we got DeAndre Swift, who had 14 carries. Total yards rushing, 71. Average yards per rush, 5.1. He had 1 touchdown, 2 receptions. Total reception yards, 13. Average yards per reception, 6.5. Then we have my man Keenan Allen, right? He had 4 receptions. Total targets, 8. Average yards per reception, 10.3. He had 2 first downs. Now, DJ Moore You know, I have a thing with DJ Moore, all because his attitude. If you don't want to be here, my man, don't worry. They'll trade you. Keep acting the way you acted, and you'll find yourself off the Bears roster, okay? But before I move on, I gotta see something real quick, because I want to see how many total yards Keenan Allen had. He had 41 total receiving yards. Now, let's go into DJ Moore. He had 7 receptions, total target 7, total yards receiving 62. He had average yards per reception, 8.9. He had 4 first downs. He had 1 carry, average yards per carry, 5. Now, dang on Packers. Be cool. We had Christian Watson, who had 4 receptions, total targets 4, total yards receiving 150. Average yards per reception, 37.5. He had 4 first downs. That man was out. That man was killing. But let's keep going. Jordan Love, he was 13 for 17. Completion percentage of 76.5. Total passing yards, 261. Yards per attempt, 15.4. He had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had QBR rating of 80.7. He's currently 9th in NFL for touchdowns with a total of 16 so far. Now, let's see. Who has a better QBR between him? Shockingly, Caleb Williams had a better QBR than Jordan Love. Okay. Now, Josh Jacobs, 18 carries, total yards rushes 76, average yards per rush 4.2. He had 1 touchdown, 4 receptions, total yards receiving 58, average yards per reception 14.5. Now, Josh Jacobs is currently 5th in NFL in carries with a total of 176 so far. And he is currently 3rd in the NFL in total yards rushing with a total of 838. Now, we got Romeo Doubs. He had 1 reception, total targets 2, total receiving yards 17, average yards per reception 17. How many first downs? Just 1. Then we had Jaden Reed, had 1 touchdown. He had 2 first downs. He had 1 carry. Total yards carry, -5. Average yards per carry, -5. So the question is, did the Bears get cheated in this game? Yes, here's why. There was a play in the game where DJ Moore, I believe, caught the ball and was down, but got back up and nobody touched him. The referee ruled him down. Now, Christian Watson does the exact same thing. He caught the ball and was down, but the referees let it go. They let him run. And he got up extra. He got extra yards because of that. Then let's not forget, when they overloaded the center, right, to block the field goal, when it should have been called a leverage call on Green Bay. See, they've been calling that call all through NFL, and one time they do it in the longest rivalry of the NFL history, it costed us the game. Because it's supposed to be 22-20. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere.
Are you ready to take on the ultimate basketball challenge? Our Shift Squad women's basketball shorts are designed to help you dominate the court in style and comfort. With functional pockets and a unique design, these shorts are the perfect addition to your basketball gear. Get your hands on these amazing shorts for just $33 and take on the challenge with Shift Squad.
Okay, we're back. So let's get into the final segment of the show, relationship talk. Okay, so here's an interesting question for today. Is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating? See, this is very interesting because emotional cheating is when one person is in a committed relationship but forms a deep emotional bond with someone outside the relationship, right? Creating a level of intimacy that undermines the trust and connection with their partner. Now, some of y'all like, well, train that Chuck. What are you talking about? I'm going to just break it down for you real quick. So, like, the keys to emotional cheating, right? This is how you know if you are, in fact, emotionally cheating on your partner. Secrecy, hiding conversations or interactions, emotional intimacy, sharing personal thoughts, feelings, or experiences with someone else, prioritization, spending more time, attention, or effort on the other person than your partner. Dependency, turning to the other person for emotional support or validation instead of your partner, right? Romantic undertones, feeling attraction, fantasizing, or imagining a future with the other person. See, emotional cheating hurts worse than physical cheating. That's what I believe. Once your feelings are involved, it is hard to get over the other person. It requires counseling maybe to get over them and start fresh with your partner. The physical cheating, I believe someone can get over it. Physical cheating aspect does not have to involve feelings. It could just be curiosity or revenge. Mostly just want to see what it's like, and when they usually get that, they typically move on. See, physical cheating, some people can get over quicker than the emotional cheating. So emotional cheating, I honestly feel that it cuts deep, because you're thinking about this person constantly to the point where you're neglecting your partner, right? And it don't matter what comes first. When your emotions is involved in the cheating and the act, it's hard to bounce back. And so that's kind of, the reason why I said emotional cheating cuts deeper than physical cheating, because your feelings is involved. You've been fantasizing about this person, wanting this person, yearning for this person. And it's like the minute y'all do it, woo! The physical, it could just be, let me just see if I could do it. Or I'm mad because I caught them, so I want my get back. See how that is? It's like, But that's our show for today. It's your host, Trillionaire Chuck, telling you always to love yourself and each other.